Welcome, everybody, to the third episode of the Basement Ballers podcast. I am Kareem,
Ibrahim, man.
and we are back with some more football. The international break is done, and finally, we get to watch some real Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga, Serie A, whatever. European football is back, and we are more excited than ever to bring more content to you guys. And we're going to start with talking a bit about the Premier League because news just in about a couple hours ago, maybe. Graham Potter has been sacked from Chelsea.
Yeah, I need it. What do you think, man? What do you think?
Yeah, so I think that it was so dumb. I thought it was so dumb because basically, like from my perspective, is that they sacked him to be more competitive within in terms of Champions League because they already realized, hey, we're 11th in the league. We're not really going to be that much of a contender for anything related to the Premier League, but we're trying to kind of get an upper hand in the Champions League. But the only thing that feel like you've done is you're basically getting ready to bring in a new coach, uh, and he's just going to be new. He's going to be basically inexperienced with the squad, and you're going to say, "Hey, buddy, you're going to go and face off against Real Madrid in the Champions League." Good luck with that. Good job, Chelsea.
Yeah, I don't. I'm pissed. I'm so pissed
Why are you pissed?
because man, Chelsea are actually gonna get better.
I don't know. I mean,
I'm
maybe in the
cheese,
long
but they were
term.
so shit under pod that I just wanted them to. It's like when Man United had Ollie, right? When they had Solskjaer, when they sacked him, I was so pissed off.
Mhm.
Cause like you know that they're so shit, you just want them to stay because I just get to make fun of them.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like okay, no, but in actuality, I think is well, I think if you're talking from like the footballing side, yeah, it was the right thing to do. I think just on a financial side, it's fucked because like they had to pay Brighton like I think at least like I think they paid Brighton like 15 million to get him. They spent over 300 million on him, something around that. Now, granted, I feel like half the players they got weren't actually players that Potter wanted because,
Mhm.
like for example, Mudryk barely plays, Madueke barely plays. Even Badia Shield doesn't play that much. Like a lot of the players they did get, the only player who they got in January that actually does play is João Felix, who's a lone player, and Enzo Fernandez. I feel like, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think any of the players they really got in January they're playing that much for the moment. So like I think they spent all that money and now they had to pay him out, and they signed him to a 5-year contract just to sack him. On top of that, a lot of the contracts they gave to the players they bought were like 8, 9 year contracts. So like I don't know, wasted a lot of money. Like I said, on a footballing side, it makes sense because Potter's shit, but like on a financial side, I think it's so fucked.
I think so too, and I think that you mentioned this last week. And for anybody who tuned into last week's show, we talked a little bit about this. I think the Mudryk signing was really just a big fuck you to like Arsenal,
Yeah,
because
I'm
like
not complaining.
you're not complaining because you guys signed Trossard and like he's been doing work for you guys, you know.
Uh,
And so Arsenal is kind of sitting here laughing, like London is red. Chelsea is sitting here crying because
mm.
they just spent 600 million on players that don't know how to play, don't know how to score, don't know how to finish. So
I'm
yeah.
I'm scared for one reason though, is
Mm.
because I mean I know it's like superstition and shit. Yeah, I was on Twitter earlier and I saw this right. The last time Chelsea, well, first of all, you need to keep in mind Chelsea won the Champions League twice, and each time they've won the Champions League, it's because they sacked their manager mid-season.
Hmm.
So in 2011, they sacked the Villas-Boas mid-season.
Yeah.
They ended up winning the Champions League. 2021, they sacked Lampard mid-season. They got Tuchel. Then they ended up winning the Champions League. This year, they sacked Tuchel, sacked Potter, and now are appointing someone else. I mean, apparently it's Nagelsmann. I don't know. My thing is like, if they get a third Champions League, on top of the fact that one person pointed out that before they sacked Villas-Boas, they had also lost at home to Aston Villa, and then that's when they sacked them, and then they sacked Potter after losing at home to Villa yesterday. So like, look, I don't. I mean, I'd be insanely surprised if they won the Champions League, but bro, like if
It's obviously not in the realm of, or not outside the realm of possibility, I should say. But at the same time, I feel like it's going to be quite the task because basically Fabrizio Romano released a statement like a little while ago saying that like Julian Nagelsmann is like the front runner for that position. And I just don't know. Well, I mean, he's a very qualified coach. I mean, he's a young coach, and he might be able to deal with a lot of those like younger signings,
mm,
which is a benefit for Chelsea. I just think that the time is not going to be in his favor, and it's going to make him look bad if Chelsea doesn't do anything. But should it though? I don't feel like it should. Like I feel like whoever they end up signing, um, it shouldn't really speak to their ability as a coach.
yeah, but I told you this earlier, man. Chelsea's success over the last 20 years has essentially just been They spend money, they sack managers, new manager bounds, they end up winning trophies. Like, that's pretty much what they've always done. That Chelsea's the only club I've ever seen that actually just sacks managers constantly and actually get better.
Yeah.
Like they sacked Mourinho mid-season, and then in 2016, then the next year they got Conte, they won the league,
Mm-hmm.
with at that time with a record points total as well.
Mm-hmm.
They said like they just have a history of doing that. That's the thing. So honestly, from a Chelsea point of view, I mean, if I was a Chelsea fan, I'd be insanely happy. I think at this point, I doubt anyone actually still wanted Potter.
No,
to
no,
stay.
and I was obviously like all over Chelsea Twitter the last couple of days because I was making fun of them. So I know that the general consensus from the fans is that they wanted him gone. So like I'm pretty sure a lot of them will be happy, especially if they do end up signing a manager like Nagelsmann.
Nagelsmann, yeah,
That'll I think that'll put a smile on a lot of Chelsea fans' faces. And like I think for me though, I'm happy we got kind of this year to make fun of Chelsea fans, and make fun of Chelsea because I feel like it's really hard to keep them down over the long term. I think that they do come back next year a lot better, a lot stronger. Um, so yeah, like I don't know.
Not because they have. They got two choices to me that like would make sense,
Hmm.
especially okay because if you're gonna go for the profile, you could go for Nagelsmann because he is young and new and stuff, so that'd be exciting. But in terms of the some of the players Chelsea have, I would go maybe for Luis Enrique if I was them.
Luis Enrique, and like even if they
In
plan
terms
on
of players they have.
prolonging the signing of a new manager because they do have an interim manager now. I believe
It's Potter's assistant. What the, I forgot his
um,
name. It's Potter. Let me. Who's the assistant? I need to check this out because
I forget what his name is, but did it Juan?
yo, his name was I need to look this up, man. Hold on, give me a second. Uh, I have to say. But point is, I, I'm cheesed they sacked him though. Yeah, that's it. What is this? I can't find the assistant's
Anyway,
name.
it's not really
He's
super
a
relevant. Like they
no-name.
basically like he's an interim manager, but does Chelsea's like kind of hold on to him and say like wait for a guy like Ancelotti to become available, for example,
No, 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 no,
or
no,
do
no,
you
no, no,
or
no,
do
no,
you
no,
just
no.
sign somebody right away?
They do not take him. No, 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 no. They take Nagelsmann or Enrique. Those are the only two that they should take.
Okay, okay.
And so I don't know. No.
You don't even take a chance on a guy like Conte. All right, sorry. That was that was a bad joke.
No, they are, bro. Well, okay, because when they had Conte last time, it was under like the previous ownership. So like, maybe would Chelsea fans want it back? I don't know, because Conte has a thing where, bro, like he goes into a team for 1 year, it's roses and peach and shit,
And everyone's like gassing him up.
and then the year after it just ends up
Mm.
flopping. And the thing is with Conte as well, this is the issue with him, and it's a thing. At each club he's ever coached, it's always been his theme. He's a good league manager, but he's a shit cup competition manager. Like for example. Okay, so at Chelsea he did win the FA Cup, but for example, he's never made it past the Champions League quarterfinals with any team. He's coached Juventus, Chelsea, Inter Milan, I mean Spurs, but like yeah. Point is like he's there's a lot he's very bad in the Champions League. Like his record is really shit. That's the thing. So like if I'm Chelsea, I would take me if I'm Chelsea. My number one option is Nagelsmann. Number two is Enrique. Besides that, like I wouldn't want anyone else to be honest.
Fair enough. All right. Anyway, I mean, I think Chelsea has a lot to figure out, so we're gonna let them figure out for a while. But
I'm so
it's
pissed.
it's time, I think, to move on to some of our matchups this week. We still have Tottenham versus Everton tomorrow, which we're obviously not able to talk about because we are filming this on Sunday. But we have most of the this week's Premier League matchups kind of wrapped up, and so I did want to touch a little bit on City and Liverpool, which is just why are you laughing, bro? It's City versus Liverpool, which obviously broke my heart a lot. If you guys. It's not that I don't think it's that funny, but all right. Anyway, so City defeat Liverpool 4-1, and it seemed like to everybody that it was really a battle to have. The first half, you feel like Liverpool's a little bit competitive. They're kind of keeping it. They're the ones that they opened the scoring in the first half, so you feel like they're doing a good job. But then City kind of like regroup in the halftime and just say like, all right, guys, these guys are really like exploitable defensively and exploit like their midfield is really exploitable. So that's what we're gonna do, and that's exactly what they did to us. So.
Bro, did you fucking did you see Trent's defending for the first goal? Did you
Yeah,
see
I saw Trent's defending for a lot of the goals.
Did you see?
Um,
Nah, yeah, the first goal he was just standing like he had like his two arms like this, just doing like
But
this, like,
I read this and I don't know how accurate it is, but it was like something like out of every loss that Liverpool has had this season,
yeah.
like 8 of those, like the man of the match was the guy that played on the left wing or something like
Bro,
that.
yeah, because I could play left wing against Trent, not cook him. I'm telling you, I told you this. What was it last week? I told you Trent cannot defend,
I think
and
no,
like everyone knows that. But the thing is, like, it's so obvious. Like he's been exposed so badly this year.
yeah, no,
Like
he
it's
has,
bad.
been, but I feel like Trent he's young enough to be able to work on his game. I think what really he just needs help. I think Trent needs help in the midfield. I think that's what he needs. He needs a solid DM. He
Yeah,
needs a
yeah.
solid couple midfielders. I think like when everything is said and done by the end of the season, sure maybe you look for a backup right back because Trent does play a lot of minutes and you kind of want to give him that chance to have a break. But I think more more of a pressing issue is we need at least 4 or 5. I mean, at least 4 different midfielders, and I would like really implore them to like go after a guy like Declan Rice,
Mm.
somebody who's a solid DM that would love to play for our club. I feel like that would really help change the tides. Obviously, Jude Bellingham is one, but like Jude Bellingham is one of those
Yeah, but
guys
Jude
where like I
Bellingham
really
doesn't.
want him, but I feel like he's gonna end up breaking my heart. Like
Dog, I don't think because for the price he's quoted at is 150 million. Would you buy it?
FSG would not. I don't feel like
FSG
we'd
is
have.
cheap as
They're,
well.
they're cheap, and I feel like obviously we are planning, in my opinion, to get rid of a lot of pieces over the summer.
Mm.
Like Firmino's gone. I think Oxlade is gone.
He has to be. Yo,
Um,
you guys need to sell your whole midfield except
Keita's
probably.
gone. Milner's gonna be out of there probably.
Nah,
So
apparently Klopp wants to renew him.
I don't. Maybe for leadership. Maybe for like.
Yeah, I guess. Apparently Klopp wants to. I mean, he's a utility player. That's the
He's
thing.
not. He's like
He's
I
a-
respect his game a lot, but I feel like he's just not up to the standard that we expect out of a Liverpool player. Like
Well, yeah, but no, you don't start him. Not for me. If I'm a Liverpool fan, I would do this. I'd get a backup right back. Cause I don't know. Cause I think the issues are your midfield mostly. But look, Van Dijk has not been the same at all this year. So I'm not saying replace Van Dijk, but things I would look the most at. You get a backup right back, that's for sure. Then midfield. Well, okay, if you need someone like a Jude Bellingham. He covers your he plays as more of like the Henderson / Keita role. He's like a number 8 kind of. Like a solid DM. Yeah, you could probably get Declan Rice. I don't know why you guys didn't go out for either Casemiro or Enzo Fernandez. I've told you that before. That would have been like
I mean, bro, I don't run the club, so I don't know what you.
that one perfect.
I'm
I
talking
think
about
I think
guys,
you guys need a solid DM for me. There's that Cancelo guy. He plays with Brighton. You guys could get him.
Mm-hmm.
But like you guys need at least one DM. If I'm you guys, maybe I would keep Fabinho as a backup, get like a DM to start. I would get three like midfielders box to boxes because the only one who's actually good is Thiago and he's injury prone. Harvey Elliott shit. Henderson is like he shit. Friggin' Keita shit. He's leaving. Ox he shit. I mean Curtis Jones. Apparently you guys are bringing back Curtis Jones for next year. Curtis Jones
Yeah,
is
but Curtis
is
Jones
terrible.
plays a lot more on the left.
Yeah, but
Like
he
so
does play as a midfielder.
I
though.
wouldn't keep him because we have so many like players that play on the left on our team. We got Diaz, we got Gakpo, we got Nunez that can play on the left. We got Jota that can play on the left. We have a lot of players that position like
You guys are missing wingers though. You guys are missing right wingers because besides Hamatala, who would you put as a right winger to like replace him or like to basically play as a backup?
yeah, no, that's
You
that's
guys
very,
need a back.
we don't have a really
Like
strong backup.
you guys need that, bro. You guys need like probably 7 players. You guys probably need 3 players that for start. Like you guys probably need 3 new players who could be starters, and you guys probably need like 4 bench players.
But that's what makes
Backups.
me nervous because I feel like everybody knows, the ownership knows that we need not a complete. We don't need a complete revamp, but we need a revamp in certain areas, right? But I don't know if they're gonna be willing to fork over the dough. Like I feel like it's just gonna be something where like
Yeah, no, they're cheap. They're cheap.
yeah, no, they are cheap. So anyway, it is what it is
I
in terms
know.
of Liverpool right now. Basically, we're looking towards like I feel like top 4 is possible, but it's starting to become really like hard to imagine, especially because I feel like
yeah.
Newcastle's playing like especially after today, Manchester United, lol. Especially after today, the Newcastle does seem like front runners for that 4th or even 3rd.
No, they're making 4th. I think Man United still finished 3rd.
But anyway, so I think Liverpool is really needs to just be focused on that summer transfer window.
Yeah, but like I said earlier, man, I don't. For you guys, man, it's because even when you guys spent money, it was mainly players. Like you guys had to sell players to spend money. Like for example, you guys sold Coutinho to Barca for 150 million. That's why you guys went and got Van Dijk and Allison, for example, like stuff like that. Like FSG are not really the types who are gonna go and like
Invest.
spend
Yeah.
big money. Like okay, they spent a lot of money on Nunez, sure, but that's because you guys also got rid of Mane, so you had to. Like I don't know if I'm Liverpool, I don't know. But speaking of City, let's move to Arsenal now.
Yeah, so Arsenal,
So,
they played against Leeds on Saturday. They beat them 4-1, and Jesus was back.
Yeah, but it's a flat. It was a. I don't know if you watched the game. It was a flattering scoreline because Leeds the first half, especially the first like 30 minutes, were on our ass. Like we could, Rams out to pull off like two really good saves. Like we could have been down probably 1-2 because even the goal we got before half was a penalty. Like that's the thing. Like Leeds play well, so like the scoreline does kind of flatter us a bit. But I will say, going to the Jesus thing, because I know people mention his goal scoring record. His goal scoring record isn't like wow, to be honest. It's like but it's like meh. But the thing is with him is that he makes the attack move so much more fluidly. Because I wouldn't say we missed him necessarily, because even when he was out, we still been able to maintain our position at the top, and we still been able to like get wins, stuff like that. But what I will say is that he does bring something different, because he can pretty much alternate between the whole front line, between left, right, central. He just kind of moves around, which kind of creates more space for our wingers to go through, which also makes space for, like, for example, Xhaka's goal was as a consequence of that, because Jesus is making movement, he's dragging defenders with him, and then Xhaka can just go through the middle and he can score the header. That's what I'm saying. Like he does that better than anyone else on the team can. Which is why, like, when Nketiah, even though he was scoring when he was backing him up, Nketiah doesn't offer the same as Jesus, because he can't really. He doesn't have the sauce. He does not. He's not really. He's not saucy like that. That's what I will say. But I think from Arsenal point of view, right now, we still have. Well, we play you guys next week. Actually, we play Liverpool next week at Anfield.
Sunday?
Yeah, next Sunday.
Next
I
Sunday,
think. I don't know, man. I think that game we have to. I mean, Liverpool have beaten, like Man City and Man United at Anfield this year. 7-0 with Man United. But I don't know. Honestly, the thing is, like, Liverpool are so hot and cold. I don't actually know. For me, I think Arsenal are gonna win that, but like I'm not gonna.
I think
say
it's tough. I think
100%.
because like in previous years, you could really say Liverpool at Anfield. Like a lot of teams will tell you that's a scary prospect.
Yeah,
right? But
not
this
anymore,
year,
man.
it's just like it's not the same. Like you don't. I don't feel. I don't think any Liverpool.
It's free eats. It's baby food.
I mean, I don't know about that. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
baby food. It's free eats.
Well, we'll see next Sunday, bitch.
It's free.
But anyway, Liverpool at Anfield this season feels a bit more of like a toss-up. Like obviously, you do feel some confidence if you're playing at home, but you're not as confident as you would be in previous years. I think so. I think that's a game that Arsenal can definitely win. If I'm not looking at it from a perspective of like a Liverpool fan, I would want Arsenal to win only because I want them to clear Man City. I really do not want Man City to surpass Arsenal this year.
Yeah,
I
no, man.
can't-
There's a lot of.
I cannot stand those bitches, bro.
Yo, I don't know, man, but Man City win the league is so inconsequential. Like for me, Man City win the league, I don't care. But if Liverpool, Man United, or Chelsea win the league, I hate it. Like Man City win the league doesn't piss me off, because like who the fuck supports Man City?
Yeah.
Like I'm not out here getting memed and bantered in real life on Twitter and shit by Man City fans, because they don't exist. I've never met one Man City, like in real life. I've never met one Man City fan.
Fox.
Like Liverpool, Chelsea, all of them, bro. Like most of my friends are Chelsea and Man United fans. There's a few Liverpool fans, but they're mostly Chelsea and Man United fans. So like if they actually do shit, then you have to hear about it. But I don't give a fuck. Man City wins.
I feel like Man City is a team that a lot of people like.
Yeah.
Like if it's Man City, like I was.
They're such an inconsequential team.
I was watching like obviously Liverpool, Man City, and I was on Twitter, and like people that are not like a fan of either are more likely to cheer for Man City.
Yeah, like for me, when they were going with Liverpool for the last like 5 years, every time it was between them and Liverpool, I always wanted Man City to win.
Yeah, like,
because I don't want
because
any
you
other
feel
team.
like it's very similar to what you're saying. Like you feel like okay, whatever, they win. Like
Yeah,
it's like like
who
no,
cares?
Well, you're not gonna hear banter from nobody.
Like, who
Nobody
cares?
really
You feel
cares.
like,
But like,
I don't know, but I'm gonna move on to this real quick, because this is still relatively new. The Man United Newcastle game. Did you get to watch that or no?
Yeah, so I did watch it. I missed a little bit of the first half, but the first half was kind of like back and forth.
Man,
Obviously, like it wasn't like super
De Gea-
decisive.
De Gea pulled off like a crazy ass double save. I don't know if you were able to see that. He basically, I think it was, I don't know if it was Callum Wilson. Some dude headed the ball. He saved it. He's on the ground. Some guy shoots at him, then he like dives and saves the ball again or something like.
That was
First half. Yeah, Man United should have been down like they lost 2-0, but they should have been down probably 2-0 at the half. Like they were getting cooked. Like they should not have won that game at all. They got cooked.
No, exactly. No, they didn't.
No,
And
they didn't deserve anything.
Newcastle basically decided that in the second half they were really gonna go for it, because even after they scored the first goal, which was, to be fair, was so nice. It was like, yeah, it was like basically like header juggling, like, you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Anyway, so but then even after they scored the first goal, it didn't even seem like Man United was pressing, or like they even
No,
looked like they were gonna score a goal.
they seem dead.
They seemed super dead.
Yeah.
Like, Anthony gets subbed off in like the 65th minute. Like,
Yeah, I didn't get
I
that.
didn't get that. Who's
Nah, it's because
he was replaced by Sancho. Like, I didn't get some of the calls that were being made. You,
even the subs that he made, I thought were weird because he subbed off Martinez and Varane, brings on Lindelof. He brought on like Fred with like 10 minutes left. Like,
yeah.
I didn't get the subs because, like you said, the Anthony Sancho thing. Like, well, first of all, they're both shit, but like at least not Sancho. At least Anthony will like tracks back. He tracks back and defends.
Yep.
Like he will put in like the work off ball. Like he'll defend stuff.
He draws defenders when he's running up.
Yeah,
Like
Sancho. The thing is with him, he doesn't defend, track back, nothing.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought like some of the decisions were a little bit questionable. Now, obviously, United are in fourth. They're tied for points. I think they both have 50.
They've played
50
they're
points.
both on 50 points after 27 games.
Yeah.
But Newcastle only have Premier League to focus on. They don't have any other games to focus on really.
Yeah, and the
Like,
goal
that's probably-
differential is insane between like the difference.
Yeah, because I need to check. Man United's goal differential is really
It's like 5, I
It's
think.
not that great.
It's
Let me
not
check.
solid. It's like 5, and then the Newcastle has like a 25 goal differential or something like that.
Yeah, like I need to. Hold on, let me see this. So Man United right now, yeah, so they're fourth with a only +4 goal difference. Newcastle are on 50 points, same points after the same amount of games. Newcastle have a 22 plus goal difference.
22
Where
plus
it really
as
makes a
well, yeah.
difference, I'll tell you, is the defense because they both have the same amount of goals scored.
Yeah.
But Man United have conceded 37 goals.
Yeah,
Newcastle's only
exactly.
conceded 19.
Exactly. No, Newcastle's obviously being the much more superior defensive team.
Mm.
And I think that they looked throughout the entire game. They looked like they were the team that should have won, and they did win, and they pulled it off. And I think that whether or not like Man United can get back into that third spot is obviously up to how they bounce back, right?
I think they still make it. They have a better manager. They have a better team essentially. Like I think they still make it. But the thing is, Man United though is honestly, man, what was it? That was this one tweet pissed me off, man. This is back in mid-February. So Arsenal were on 54 points. Man City were on 52 points, and Man United were on 49 points. And Man United had a game in hand. And the tweet was basically like, "Oh, should Man United be considered title challengers?" Then Man United fans are gonna keep denying this. I have friends. I'm not gonna name them, but I have friends. I've seen people on Twitter. I've seen all that mid-February rolled up talking about, "Oh, yo, we could challenge for the title. We could do this." And it's like, since that tweet, they've gotten 1 point out of their. They've gotten 1 point. Arsenal have had 18 points since that tweet.
And I think that today they were really missing Rashford on the offense. So like, I don't know. It's obviously like this is something really tough to call.
No, Rashford played, didn't he?
No, I don't think Rashford was Rashford.
He did. I mean, they missed him because anonymous performance, but no, he played. I'm pretty sure he played.
Bro, that's crazy. Did he get subbed off?
Yeah, Rashford did play. Yeah, bro. Rashford got subbed off, and he didn't get subbed off. No, he played the full game. Yeah,
Bro, I did not see him, bro.
Rashford played.
Rashford
Rashford
that,
played.
brother. All game, I did not see.
Yeah,
that
Rashford is. So I'm gonna say his little purple patch of form, but people keep trying to tell me like Rashford this, Rashford that. Nah, bro. Like Rashford's only good when he's playing against freaking headless defenders, but he just pulls up to them. Uses bare pace, and he has a good shot and he has pace. That's it. Like, bro, he's not an intelligent player. Like, for example, why I think it's a dumb comparison as well because Rashford's like 25, Saka's 21. But why do I think Saka's better? Is because Saka's actually an intelligent player. Rashford, the thing is with him is like, what's his name? He's not a smart like he has pace. He has like he's shooting. He's good dribbling. He's decent. Okay, but like he's not like a smart player. I don't feel.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's actually like quite a big comparison that people have been making over the last couple of weeks.
But it's a dumb comparison.
Between Saka and Rashford because they have been both on form and both playing really well. But I think that every week it becomes clear to see that Saka just creates more for your team.
Bro,
he's more of like a,
he
he's more of a
does
complete
like
winger.
he's more complete. That's the thing. Yeah.
You know, he creates openings for his teammates because like he draws defenders to because they want to get the ball off him. Obviously, because he has a lot of skill. He can maneuver. He's really agile. So and he shot, bro. Oh my God, against who did they play in the England. Who'd they play that?
Oh, Ukraine. Yeah,
Ukraine,
yeah.
bro. Oh my God, he sauced that shit. So
Yeah, yo, that
no,
was
Saka
R1 finesse.
Saka is getting to that point where honestly he can be in discussions of like one of the best wingers in the world. But obviously, we're gonna talk
Well,
a little bit about that later.
he is among the best wingers in the world. Now, is he the best? I mean, we'll talk
That's
about
the
that
debate
later
for sure.
on.
Yeah, we have a couple of discussions to have, a little bit of hot takes that we're gonna talk about later on.
Yeah, we're gonna.
But for now, that's kind of, I guess, the bulk of our Premier League roundup. We have three new, the new relegation three are, as of now, Everton, Leicester, and Southampton.
Swear, Everton's
Not Everton, West Ham.
Swear,
West Ham, Leicester, and Southampton.
Oh yeah, we didn't actually touch up on this. I don't know if you saw that they sacked Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Yeah, we didn't touch up on that. They sacked Brendan Rodgers. Do you think? Yeah, I think it is. I think it's warranted for sure because they're 19th in the league right now. But the thing is, I will say this: I've seen some Leicester fans talking like shit, talking about they should have been gone a long time ago. Blah. Bro, Leicester were doing so good 2 years ago that people were trying to say get Arsenal out of the top six and add Leicester to it. They also won an FA Cup over Chelsea 2 years ago. Like, Brendan Rodgers, I think for his time at Leicester did well. People forget Leicester are not really like that team. Like they had like for 2-3 years they were like sitting like in the top 5, top 6 positions for the last 2-3 years. But now, bro, they're not a relegation team either, but they're a mid-table team. Like Brendan Rodgers had them punching above their weight for a while.
Yeah,
so people need to respect it.
Need to respect it. Obviously, I think that, like you said, it was a warranted sacking, and
it's warranted. Yeah,
they're not going to be doing anything. Obviously, they're really looking bad.
Man, I still don't think. I'm sticking with my prediction. I think it's Bournemouth. Southampton's for sure is going to relegate. I think it's Bournemouth, Southampton, and they want
Crystal Palace. That's what you said last.
I think it is. Yeah,
Crystal Palace beat them.
The Crystal Palace did beat them, but I mean, maybe the new manager bounced. But the thing is like, I don't know, man. Like if not Crystal Palace, I think it's either Nottingham Forest or Leeds.
So yeah,
but like West Ham, Leicester.
Sorry.
Look,
I was correct.
Yeah.
I was correct. The three in relegation right now are Everton, Leicester, and Southampton.
So Everton's 18th.
Everton's 18th now. Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, I think Everton, Leicester are still not getting. I think it's gonna be Southampton, Bournemouth, and either Leeds or Nottingham Forest, or maybe Crystal Palace. Everton, West Ham, and Leicester, I think have too much quality in their team to actually get relegated.
It would be kind of crazy to see. All those.
I think their teams are too good to get relegated. Like in terms of the players, they're too good to be relegated.
Yeah.
Compared to the teams they're fighting against.
Agreed.
So
agreed. It would obviously be quite the shock, but I think that like Leicester has been so god awful the last like 6-7 games that they've been god awful the whole season. But like
they went the beginning of the season.
There's 10 games left in the season. I don't know if they have the enough.
Well, it depends on what's their schedule looking like. It really depends because
have they appointed a new?
Not that I know of. No, look, Leicester's remaining games will be against who? I need to because it really depends on who they play. Because I don't think they have that many tough games left. Okay, so they play. Oof, damn. Okay, that schedule is not like okay, so they still have to play Villa, Bournemouth. They play Man City, Wolves, Leeds, Everton, Fulham, Liverpool, Newcastle, West Ham. They're playing a lot of their. They're playing some of the teams they're playing against. Okay, so they're playing Bournemouth, Wolves, Leeds, and Everton. Yeah, actually, we didn't mention this. Wolves, matter of fact, where are Wolves at? Wolves are not even that safe too. They played 29 games, so they're a game in hand on pretty much everyone else in the relegation battle, and they're on 28 points. Mm-hmm. So Wolves can be dragged into that too. I don't think Wolves get relegated, but yeah, they're still Wolves.
Fair enough.
Bro, I think this is probably the craziest relegation battle I can remember. There's like 7 different teams that
There's
you could
a lot
be
of
relegated.
different teams that can go down there, and it's really hard to call at this moment. But like, bro, like honestly, it's like I feel like these last 10 games are shaping up to be quite exciting.
Yeah, it's gonna be lit. Yeah.
It's gonna be lit, and you guys know where you're gonna tune in to find out more about what's going on in the Premier League. Basement Ballers podcast. That's a little bit of a plug. But yeah, I think in terms of the Premier League, that's kind of like the highlights. I would say for this week. So we're gonna move on to
we gotta move on to we gotta move on to the main club, man. Barca. We gotta move on to that. So
we gotta move on to Barca. So I think Brahim, because he is a Barca fan, we're gonna let him kick off what he wants to talk about this week.
Yeah, no. The thing is with me right now is with Barca. I'm liking where we're at, but there is one thing it's plaguing me. It's haunting me. You could say we've been shit in Europe for like 9 years, pretty much. Like since we won the Champions League in 2015, we got pretty much embarrassed in like the last 6 years in the Champions League or Europa League because 2016, 2017 we lost, but it wasn't like that bad. But 2018 Roma, 2019 Liverpool, 2020 Bayern, 2021 PSG. That's 4 years, and those are in the Champions League. Now last year get bounced in the Europa League by Frankfurt, and then this year got bounced by Man United, a piss poor Man United. Like we should have beaten them. If Xavi was fucking up with the lineup, we should have beaten them. Point is, Okay, maybe not piss poor Man United, but we still should have beaten them. But the
Mm.
point is, the thing is that I'm looking at it right now. Is I think Barca need probably. I think Barca right now just need probably 3 players. I think if with the right recruitment this summer we can win the Champions League next year. I think next year we could win it. But the thing is, this is what I'm looking at. We need a backup right back in my opinion because we have our 3 center backs. No, sorry. We have Marcus Alonso who plays backup there too. We have 4 center backs we could have. So we have Kunde, Christensen, Araujo, Marcus Alonso. Now, what do? You keep Balde and Alba as your left backs. Now we need a backup right back because what you do is you put Kunde as the right back. But if, for example, we have a bit of an injury crisis in the center backs, Kunde can play the center back. So you put him there, but then we need a right back to cover for him. So we need a backup right back. We need a player like a Gundogan or Bernardo Silva for Man City. I would love Bernardo Silva more, but he is going to cost way more. Gundogan will come for a free. Bernardo Silva will be at least 70, 80 million. But one thing I notice is whenever we don't have Pedri, our midfield looks terrible. We need someone who can replace what Pedri brings to us because our midfield looks terrible. Now, basically, we'll get onto that later. I mean, you guys already know it's. I mean, it's Messi. There are links. There are links that Messi might come back. Now, if we were to get Messi back, that is a thing that I think covers for it. Because if we get Messi back, I don't think we put him as an attacker. We'd put him as like in that Pedri spot. Like we put him as a midfielder that can just kind of like a free role in the midfield basically. So you'd put him, you put Pedri, you could maybe put De Jong. I don't know like how it would work out, but we need someone who could cover for Pedri in the midfield. And right now, the way I'm looking at it is we have to sell one of our left wingers. So for me, it would be Ferran Torres. We'd sell him. And Sufati, I don't know if he gets back to form, we keep him. But we need a left winger. Now there's links that we might get either Diaz from Liverpool, Son from Spurs, or who's the third player? Man, not for. I think I heard rumors of Martinelli maybe. I don't know. Point is, for me, I would love either of those. I mean, I prefer Diaz or Son because I don't want Martinelli to leave Arsenal. But
Yeah, that's fair.
for me, that's the thing. We don't really need much for Barca to actually be like, because our team is we're top of the league by 12 points because Madrid won earlier today, so we're top of the league by 12 points. The league we're good. We can still get a league and cup double because we won the Super Copa. We're gonna win the league most likely, and if we get the Copa del Rey, that's a domestic treble technically. So that's a very good season. But for me, Champions League, we need to figure that out because I'm tired, man.
Oh, I feel that, brother. I feel that. So obviously, when you came up to me with when you wanted to talk about Barca, I would kind of like look into some players that might be interested in coming to Barcelona, some players that are kind of like ready to leave their clubs, and one of them I thought was interesting was Pavard on Bayern.
Yeah,
Do
if
you
we
think that a guy like Pavard would suit a team like Barca?
I don't know because Barca tend to employ we need right backs who are more attacking minded. We need our attacking minded right backs. That's the thing. And if I'm Pavard is not really that like he's a decent right, like he's a hybrid between attacking and defending right back, but he's not necessarily great at either. He's decent. Now for me, my dream right back would be Cancelo. I would love Cancelo, but he went to Man City, got basically kicked out by Pep, and at Bayern, he's basically being kicked out as well. So, I mean, Tuchel came in, so I don't actually know if Tuchel's going to use it. I don't think so. Point is, he's having issues at his last 2 clubs. So, to me, that signals probably an attitude problem. Now, if he has an attitude problem, then no, I don't want him. But, I'd look into it and see. For me,
I don't know about that, bro. I
me,
think that with Cancelo, he's getting a little bit frustrated with the fact that he was basically like a solid starter for Man City, and he was a big reason as to why they were kind of so dominant in the Premier League the last couple of years, right? But he all of a sudden he comes into this season, he's not playing as many minutes, and then he gets pushed to Bayern on a loan, and he's also not in part of that overall plan at Bayern, right?
But he started the first few games for them, and then suddenly he got out
That's
the
what
lineup.
I'm saying. So I don't know what it is. Maybe the attitude problem is kind of being linked to that. Maybe they were saying honestly you don't deserve to start because you're kind of being a little shit. So that's possible, right?
But the thing is also as well is so his dog died recently.
His dog died?
He had a dog, and his dog died. So people are trying to link it. Maybe there's that. Maybe he's been just in a bad mood, depressed, whatever, which understandable. Okay, his dog died. So maybe he's that. I don't know. But for me, in terms of just the profile of player, my dream right back would be Cancelo. Now, if we had money, Reece James. I'd love Reece James.
Really? Don't you think Reece James is a little injury prone?
Yeah, no, that is the issue. It is his injury proneness, but like I'm saying, You get him, and you can have him and Kunde alternate. That's basically the plan because Kunde can also play right back. Now,
Mhm.
for me, dream would be Reece James, who's more attainable, João Cancelo, but one of those two I would love.
Yeah.
Pavard, if like it wouldn't be it wouldn't be like a bad sign necessarily. I don't think it'd be that big of a.
He's only 27.
He's deep. No, he like I wouldn't be sad if we got Pavard, but for me, like, no, first choice would definitely be Cancelo or Reece
Mhm.
James for me. But Reece James, I think it's like damn near impossible we get him. But
Right. And so then you would say, based on our discussion here, you would say that you're kind of happy with your striker. You're kind of happy with your right
well,
wings.
for me, right now, yeah, right wingers, I'm chilling. Like Rafinha and Dembele, for me, that's solid. I think Lewandowski, maybe. I don't know if you get a backup striker because apparently Aubameyang wants to come back on like very minimum wages.
Yeah, he didn't want to leave.
But the thing is, Aubameyang and Lewandowski are both old though. That's the thing. So like, Aubameyang's what 33, 34. Lewandowski's 34. Like, I don't know. Like, I would maybe take him as a backup because also if we, it's a tough one. Like, I think Lewandowski for me, backup striker to me isn't necessarily that big of a priority. For me, the priorities have to be a midfielder who could kind of compensate for when Pedri gets injured. Because even Pedri is low key getting a bit injury prone,
Yeah.
a bit. And it's a consequence of us playing him all the time. Why do we play him all the
So
time?
it
Because we
is.
don't have someone who could really replace his output. It's not necessarily his output in terms of stats. It's just like what he brings. Because, for example, Gavi, for example, I love Gavi, but Gavi doesn't bring what Pedri brings. Pedri's just so, like, he's saucy. He's so
No,
technically, like,
and I think you're
amazing.
right. He spent a couple like his first couple years just playing.
Yeah, his
playing,
first year
playing,
at Barca,
playing.
don't you remember, bro? He played 72 games that
Yep.
whole year. He played
Yep.
pretty much most every Barca game, and he also played every game for Spain of the Euros, bro. And he was what 19, like, bro.
Yeah.
They dusted him.
No, and people get scared. People say like honestly, these are signs, and I hope not. Of course, knock on wood, it doesn't happen. But I hope that people are saying like, oh, these are signs of like a short career, because
Yeah, no, we need to get someone who could
he
basically.
needs to be managed.
It needs to be managed, and we need to get another midfielder in. So for me,
Yeah.
the priority would be a right back, a midfielder, and a left winger. To me,
Mhm.
those are the priorities.
And I think what's nice about Cancelo is that like what can kind of give you a little bit of hope is that if you watch him play for Portugal, he seems like a
Easy.
different like
Yeah.
I mean he was very solid this international break, and I think that that's a
Mm.
really good prospect for you guys to think about. But obviously then you start to think about like the way that La Liga is kind of like obviously like putting restrictions on how much money you guys could spend. The
Yeah,
fact that you guys are cash
that
strapped and
it's,
like
it's bullshit.
yeah.
It's the fucking.
And so like I don't remember. I think that like I don't know if this was true, but is Gavi like have they approved the official signing of Gavi?
Bro, so Gavi's new contract was approved, but the thing is, La Liga introduced this new rule. Keep in mind, this is a month after that we registered him.
Yeah.
They made a new rule a month after we registered him that basically made our registration, like I forgot the exact rule, but basically made our registration like null and void essentially. So that's why they're basically arguing that his new registration shouldn't be allowed to go through, even though they made this rule a month after we did it. So it's
True,
bullshit. And the thing
okay.
is, and bro, like I think we touched up upon this the last podcast or maybe the first one, bro. The La Liga president is a Madrid fan, bro. I swear he's doing this shit like under the previous regime we had that basically bankrupted us, and they're the reason why we were so shit for so long. He did not say a single thing. He basically said, "Oh," he even came out and said, "I think Bartomeu's doing a good job, whatever, whatever." He's like, that's the thing, but he's talking all the shit about Laporta. Why? Because Laporta's actually a good president,
Mm-hmm.
and it's pissed me off. And even the head of the Spanish Federation came out and basically told and basically called out Tebas. I don't know if you saw that what he said the other day. The head of the Spanish Federation called out Tebas the other day and basically told him
He's
a
showing
lot
favoritism.
like he's showing favoritism, and also a lot of the thing like let me pull out the direct quote that he said. The direct quote that he said was basically hold up. Let me pull it up. But what did he say exactly? He said uh hold up. Yeah, basically. So the Spanish Football Federation denounces Tebas for defamation, exactly.
Mhm.
So basically, they announced that they will denounce the La Liga president Javier Tebas for defamation because what's his name? Yeah, because he was accusing other teams of match fixing. He was accusing Barca of fixing and stuff.
Mhm.
What's his name? He basically said, "Oh, it's ignorant of him to basically claim that only Barca are match fixing." Blah blah blah. He's basically calling. Basically, he's making the league like. And even if you notice, bro, unless you support Barca, no one watches La Liga. Like no, like for me, if I'm bored, I'll watch like a Premier League game. if I'm bored, even though it's not a team. But no one watches the league because, bro, especially under he's been president for the league for the last 10 years. It's not a marketable league, bro. He's making the league tank. Like in terms of its value, in terms of the players it can attract, because besides Barca, Madrid, even maybe Atletico, what the fuck goes to La Liga? No one.
I know, not. Well, I don't want to say not willingly. It's not like they're being.
Yeah, like who the fuck goes to La Liga?
coerced,
Yeah,
but, like,
it's bullshit.
But people don't dream of like playing for Sevilla. You know, like
yeah, exactly.
so-
No one wants to like. Everyone wants to go to like Premier League. No one wants
Yeah.
to go to Spain. Like that's the thing, and it's done because that's basically a consequence of his shit marketing. Because bro, Premier League's getting all the TV deals. Premier League's getting all these deals with different companies. Blah blah blah. That's why if you look at most teams, they don't have the money to spend. It's not even a Barca thing. Barca, because they're like them and Madrid, the biggest clubs in Spain. Obviously, it gets more highlighted. But there's a lot of teams that, for example, weren't able to register signings on time and do all these things because of the stupid ass rules that La Liga has in place.
Yep.
That's the
It's
thing.
at the moment I think there's an annual spending fee of 600 million euros.
It's dumb, bro. The Premier League's out here spending the January window. They spent 2 billion.
Yeah. No. It's it obviously they call it financial fair play.
That's bullshit.
But on a European level, is there really any fair play
No,
involved? Because,
look
like,
at-
you
look-
have a team like Barca. Barca
Chelsea.
can only like you have teams like Man City, right?
And
If they wanted to,
They
right?
could buy anyone.
They could change the whole team,
Yeah.
right? Because
In
they're
one
they're just
window.
that like stacked.
Yeah.
And you have teams like Man United. If they get bought out by the Qataris,
Yeah.
they have like basically free reign to do whatever they want because they're Man United, right?
Mm.
And they got the money. But then you have teams like Real Madrid and Barcelona, any team in La Liga that are basically forced to abide by these financial rules, and that means that every year their ability to change is limited. They have to basically deal with BS involving like some of their star players like Gavi. And it on a European, maybe on a La Liga level, you could say there's financial fair play, and it could make sense.
It's hindering the league.
But it hinders the league. It
Yeah.
hinders the player, like the players that they could bring in, because you can't really like if you were to make a big signing like an Mbappe for Real Madrid, you're done. Halas,
You
done.
can't. The league. No, because that's the thing, bro. It's because okay, there's rumors that apparently we might go back we're gonna get Messi, because even the Barca's vice president came out and basically said that they were in contact with Messi and his agent, which his agent's his dad. So I don't know why he just didn't say his dad. But point is that they want to bring him back to the summer. So it's confirmed that Barca want to bring him back. But the thing is, what I'm thinking is, bro, like in terms of finances, like okay, I think Tebas would love Messi to come back to the Liga because, bro, La Liga doesn't have any marketable stars
Of course.
really. Because who do we have as like stars in our league? We have
Other than the players that play for Real and Barca.
yeah, because like okay, Benzema, Lewandowski, like okay,
Vinny.
you have Modric,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, but like still, but you look at the Premier League, for example, they have Holland, Harry Kane, they have De Bruyne, they have the the Odegaards, they have Van Dijk, they have
Salah.
Salah, they have like all these things. French league, I mean, you have one star, you have you have three actually. Sorry, you have Messi, you have Mbappe, stuff like that. But like Barca are not. Barca, Madrid, like the Spanish league in general, we're lacking stars. Like that's the thing. That's what made the product so great 10 years ago. Because 10 years ago, everyone wanted to come to the Liga. Why? Look at the teams we had. You had Suarez, Messi, you had Neymar, Ronaldo, Bale, Benzema, you had Modric, you had even Atletico Madrid were nice. You had Griezmann, you had you saw Torres, you had this is like a while back too. You had Falcao, you had like the product was good. You feel me? Now the product is shit.
Yeah, no, I feel that, and it does seem like a lot of players, like even with the whole Ansu Fati situation, which, for those of you who don't know, his dad was basically up in arms and saying like,
Yeah,
I'm pissed off that my boy doesn't get to play,
Yeah,
right?
He basically came out and said, like, I remember the quotes exactly. He said, like, Ansu Fati is Barca's number 10. He should be playing more. He also said, like, Vinicius was basically, like, heckled and abused for, like, 2 years by Madrid fans until he actually started to become good. Basically, like, he doesn't understand why Fati doesn't play a lot, blah, blah, blah. And, like, I'll let you finish your point. I'll have my opinion after.
Yeah, brother. And I mean, like my only point is that basically he wants him to move. He wants him to leave. He wants him to go to a team like Man City, right? Like, or any Premier League team really that will allow him to like actually play.
True. I didn't mention that he basically said if it was up to me, I would leave Barca tomorrow. But he does it. But my son keeps telling me he wants to stay.
Exactly. So then that's what happened. He
Yeah.
basically came out and said, you know what? Honestly, like, with all due respect, I'm not my father. I don't believe that. I want to stay at Barca.
Yeah, but these codes don't. Because the thing is, right, is that Fati was already getting enough pressure on his shoulders. Because first of all, he's a La Masia product. He's a Barca product. I don't know why they gave him the number 10. They gave him the number 10 that was worn by Lionel Messi. They gave him that number So like, there's already pressure on him regardless because he's been underperforming. Now his father comes out because even okay, yesterday when we played Elche, yeah, Fatih ended up scoring a goal, but at the end of the first half, I was on Twitter, and this was still it was still I think 1-0 at the time. I go on Twitter, and then all these Barca pages are basically like, oh, Ansu Fati stats in the first half: dispossessed 9 times, successful dribbles none, blah blah. They're basically out here like basically like looking at every single minute thing of his game because basically there's even more pressure on him now because of his father's quotes. Now he came out and he scored yesterday. It was a really nice goal as well. That's like vintage Fati. That's what he does. He's a very great finisher, but I think it's a confidence issue because apparently physically he's back to what he was before like all his injuries. Like physically he's good. I think it's just a confidence thing
And
because
that's what Xavi said too, right? He said that in
yeah,
practice he's doing well.
yeah.
He's basically giving it his all. He's a very skillful player.
But his dad needs to understand he's going out. He's like bitching all this thing, bro. You need to realize I've been watching Fati. The thing is that it's not like he hasn't had opportunities. He's had opportunities. He's played like games where he's played like 60, 70 minutes. He's had games where like he's had opportunities to put a mark in that, but he's not like that. That's the thing. Like he's not like if he wasn't Xavi wasn't playing him, I'd say. But like Fati's not basically proving himself that he's just like for example, since he scored last game, now the next game against Madrid in the Copa. Between him and Ferran Torres, I mean, I'd probably start Fati. But yeah, you could, based on that, okay, he scored, he showed his worth, whatever. You could probably start Fati. But the thing is, you can't just start him on like blind faith. At the end of the day, bro, it's a results based business, but we need results.
Of course. And no, Xavi has to have confidence to start you against a team like Real Madrid, right? So I was online reading about what Barcelona would need to do in order to bring Messi in, and I don't know, maybe you have a better insight on this, but people are saying that they need to like get rid of at least about 150 million euros in cap space in order to allow them in. So, would getting rid of a player like Fati actually be in the favor of Barcelona?
Like getting, well, we need to sell. We need to sell one of either Fati or Ferran Torres. Maybe even both. Now I hope it's not both because I would want to keep Fati. For me, I'd sell Ferran Torres. Like I would pay you to take him off my hands. I would sell him. Yeah. Honestly, I don't know if 150 million is actually like just for because you can also get that from like deferred wages. Also, you can make that money up from like sponsorship deals, blah blah. Because already getting Messi itself makes you a shit ton of money.
Yeah,
already.
True.
So like
sales alone.
like I don't know how they would work it out financially, but I trust like the Matteo Almani, the basically like what's his like official the guy who takes care of the transfer shit. Matteo Almani, he's the director of football, and then the president Laporta. Like I trust what they're doing.
Okay.
Like I trust what they do. Like I don't have a reason to not trust them. So like if they think it's possible, then I trust them. At the end of the day, because Laporta actually loves Barca, he's not gonna do shit to. Fuck us over essentially.
Fair enough. And obviously at the time of recording this, well, I mean it's not super obvious, but at the time of recording this podcast, PSG had just finished playing Lyon.
Yeah, and they lost.
And they lost 1-0 at home, and this is apparently their second loss in a row at home.
Messi's gone.
I feel like that project is kind of coming to an end.
It's fucked.
There's no way that I can imagine because obviously PSG would be looking to sign an extension with Messi. Right.
Yeah. Of
Whether
course.
or not they're going to be successful was, I think, really related to the success of this year, and because it has been such an unsuccessful year for PSG, I feel like Messi's like natural inclination would be a return to Barca. I think the MLS rumors are crap.
No. He's the rumors apparently are saying that he doesn't want to leave Europe. He wants to. It's either he goes to PSG, he stays PSG, or goes to Barca. He's not going anywhere else in Europe, and he's not leaving Europe.
He's not at the stage of his career where leaving Europe would make sense because he's still an amazing player. He still deserves to play at the highest level. And yeah, so I don't know.
You need to keep in mind as well, his wife and his kids have play a big part in that decision because apparently the rumors are his wife she wants to come back to Barca.
Yeah.
Every opportunity they get, they go to Barca to see their old friends and go to their like house. Like they trust me, they probably want to go back to Barca.
That's all. Like they've been Messi and his girl have been together since the dinosaurs. So
yeah,
they grew up in that environment. They grew up playing for that team, idolizing that team, and just loving to like be successful with that team. And obviously Barcelona has, to their credit, has been able to find success this year, especially playing without Messi, and I'm just imagining what Messi could do for that team in terms of their success. I feel like they could definitely build on it.
We get him back, we're cooking, bro. We are gonna cook.
Yeah.
We get him back, we're cooking.
And I think that also speaks to like a lot of people have accused Messi in the past of being kind of the system player.
No.
He's been relatively unsuccessful at PSG, but I think, in my opinion, I think that that has been more a statement as to the ownership PSG and their lack of their ability to create a good team,
Dog,
rather than Messi's inability to play on a different team that is not Barcelona or even Argentina for that matter.
dog, this is such a stupid. I don't even know how to explain this shit, bro. People keep saying that like Messi needs Barca, whatever, bro. At the end of the day, every player needs a team that's based around his abilities and his talents. Ronaldo was not out here cooking teams, carrying a shit Madrid team that weren't basically
Had people
centered
playing
around
around
him
him.
at all. Exactly, bro.
Huh.
You need the good pieces. You need the team to be centered around you. Why? You're the best player. You command that respect and shit. PSG's team is not centered around what Messi could do best, and that's why they're failing. At the end of the day, look at Argentina. Argentina have a team where Messi has a free role, and they have runners who do the defensive. They do the defensive job for him, and they have attackers who make movement for him, so he can have space to basically create. And that's how they were able to win the World Cup. PSG don't have that. PSG do not have that. Like that's the thing. How do you can't expect Messi to track back, do this, do all these things? First of all, that's never been his thing. First of all, you don't need to like, bro. You need to build a system around Messi. Don't ask questions. It's fucking Messi. He's the best player in history. You don't ask questions. Just build the team around him. End of the day, you built the team around him in Barca. What did that get you? All the shit Barca have won over the last few years. You build a team around Messi and Argentina. What happens? World Cup. Like you at the end of the day, but it's not rocket science.
And I agree. And I think we had mentioned this in the past, and it's really evident, especially this year, that the ownership on PSG is just doesn't know how to create a team.
No.
And at the end of the day, you're right. If you have the one of the greatest, or even obviously, arguably not super arguably, he is probably the greatest of
Not
all
probably.
time.
No, also not probably. He is the greatest.
All right, he's the greatest of all time. You build the team around him. So for people that say he's a system player,
Mm.
it's like, yeah, because the system was built for him. So because he is who he is Messi. He is the greatest of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And so just like you have in Real Madrid back when in Cristiano Ronaldo's time, you have that in Barcelona, where yes, you build pieces that will support Messi's style of play. Now
Mm-hmm.
Messi's style of play is very unique.
Bro, that's the thing, because Messi's just you can't really define Messi to one position. He can pretty much do anything. You can he play makes for you. You can score goals. You can dribble. You can do anything. You can't. You just need basically the way you build around Messi is get him attackers who can finish. Get him like at least a good attacker who can finish, and get him midfielders that can make up for his lack of defensive work. And then that's it. That's all you need to build around Messi. It's not really that hard. And the PSG don't have that. PSG don't have a midfield that covers up for the defensive flaws. And PSG also, if you look at their from the attacking sense, Messi today I saw this earlier. Messi created 5 chances. He created 5 chances today. The rest of the PSG team combined created 5 chances, basically. So Messi is creating stuff like that, but they're not getting finished. Now, obviously, that's not Mbappe's fault because Mbappe's amazing. But the thing is, like, it's obviously you can't blame Messi. Messi's doing what he can, but at the end of the day, it's not working. But there's a reason for that. It's not that Messi, because back then it was Messi needs Barca and he shit with Argentina because blah blah he's a system player at Barca. Then when he wins with Argentina, he's a system player with Argentina, bro. Make up your fucking mind. At the end of the day, bro. Messi's just he's good. He's amazing.
He's a very amazing
Get
player.
his nuts out your
Obviously,
mouth.
he's an all-time player, and I think I would like to leave this topic with this last question. Okay,
Yeah.
and I know how you feel, but why will there never be another player like Lionel Messi?
Because you're never gonna get another player who's. I don't even think it's. I mean, maybe you can make an argument. You're not gonna get a player who's arguably the best playmaker in history and someone who pretty much has the second most goals. Does he have the second? No, he has the third most goals in history behind what Pele and Ronaldo. And also his goals to game ratio is better than Ronaldo. Like basically, you're not gonna get a player who's an all-time goal scorer and pretty much probably the best playmaker of all time, who's gonna win 7 Ballon d'Ors, all that shit wrapped into one player. No, you're never gonna get that. And now for me, the thing is, what I say is that although I think it's 99.9% not gonna happen, you can find another Ronaldo. It's probably impossible, but you can find one. Because you look at someone like someone who could just a good dribbler, can score a lot of goals, whatever. Yeah, you can find maybe another Ronaldo. It's insanely like hard. Probably like I said, 99.9% sure it's never gonna happen because it's Ronaldo and Messi, they're two best of all time. You're never gonna find players like them. But I think it's impossible 100% to find another Messi. I don't think it's impossible to find another Ronaldo. I just think it will be insanely difficult. But I don't think it's impossible. Whereas Messi, not you're never gonna replace Messi.
Yeah, and I think obviously the debates between Ronaldo and Messi has been fun to have and has led to a lot of emotional distress
I
for a
miss
lot of
it.
people.
I miss it.
But I think that once these two respective like sensational players retire, I think that a lot of people are going to look back and have regrets as to why they were comparing versus why they didn't just appreciate the greatness that they were witnessing, because those two created a generation of just absolute
Create a generation.
insane football.
They create a generation of dick riders, man. Me among them.
Yeah, I mean,
Feel me?
yeah, but it's okay, bro. I'm a dick. Pause. Anyway, so we would like to end off this podcast discussing. I wouldn't say they're hot takes, but just questions
Yeah,
that
it
we've
is.
kind of been reading online, and we want
Right
to.
online, also just like
give
like
our
stuff
opinions?
we've come up with. Yeah, kind of because I think they're relevant to the situations today. Now, the
Right.
first one I would like to ask you as a Liverpool fan. What do you think about Klopp? Should Klopp be under fire? Do you think there should be questions about his future? What do you think like about Klopp overall? Like where do you stand on it?
So me and you were actually just reading a stat today that apparently this season, not apparently, this season,
Mm.
the number of Premier League managers that have been sacked has been the greatest ever. So it's 12 Premier League managers have been sacked this season. Well, Chelsea has two of those, right? And it really speaks to kind of the change in the dynamics of the Premier League this season, how crazy it's been. And people have called for Klopp not. I don't think this is the majority, but a lot of people have called for Klopp to be sacked. They've called it the 7-year curse. It was with Dortmund. He played 7 seasons, and like on the 7th season he was like
He had them in the Dortmund. He had the before he left. He had them in the relegation, but it was mid October, and he had them in like I think 19th
yeah.
or 18th. No, there's only 18 teams in the Bundesliga. But yeah,
Right.
he had them in
So
relegation.
he's built a little bit of this reputation. They call it the 7-year curse or 7-season curse. But and obviously this is his 7th season at Liverpool, which is why that kind of has come full circle in a way. But I think that sacking Klopp would be like maybe the dumbest decision that Liverpool owners could ever make, because they have not helped Klopp in the slightest build a team that could even compete for like a Premier League title this season or anything. This season, I'm talking about this season, right? Obviously, seasons in the past, last season we were like 1 point off of like
Look,
winning the Premier League title.
yeah, and also
Right.
3-4 years ago in 2019, you're also a point off from Man City. Yeah,
Right. So I just think that like the owners have not done a service for Klopp. We've been given a lot of really strong attackers. We have been given a lot of really strong defenders, right. But I think that like they kind of got really comfortable and stuck in their ways, and they haven't really been adjusting for year to year with our players.
yeah.
Right?
They need to get the finger out their ass.
They need to get the finger out their ass. And I think I read this also. Somebody said Klopp would be the greatest manager of all time if given like Man City level of money, for example. What do you think about that?
No, he wouldn't be the greatest manager of all time. I think he'd win. He would have won more. Yeah, he would have won more Premier Leagues, and he would have probably won. Would probably won like probably one or two. Like he would have won more trophies for sure. But no, best of all time. No, the best of all time is still Ferguson.
Ferguson.
Mourinho's top 5, but no, best ever is Ferguson.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think
Pep Guardiola to me is second.
Really, yeah, that's fair. I think. Listen, I completely agree. Obviously, money would help any manager. This obviously I don't want to discredit Eddie Howe, but like you can see what he's been able to do with
A decent amount of back again. But I disagree with you though on one thing is that Klopp doesn't have the resources now to win a Champions League or Premier League title, but he also has resources to not be as shit as they've been this year.
I agree.
That's where I would put some blame on him. Now, granted, no, that would be like I would sell the whole team rather than sack Klopp. For me, what Liverpool need to do is just reinvest, and I think Klopp can get the wheel working again, reinvesting. He just needs a couple more players, and like he still has it, bro. Klopp is not like he don't go from damn near winning a quadruple last year to being this shit just because you can. No. He needs some backing, but Liverpool should not be this bad this year. Is my point.
I agree. I don't think that the pieces that we have justify that. I think that you could definitely say that a lot, like several of his like for example lineup choices, some of his formation, the fact that he's kind of really been stuck in his ways in terms of formation have really been frustrating to watch, especially because you feel like you're not winning, so change it up kind of thing, right? But I
Yeah.
don't know. I think, but obviously, like there could be ways that we could back Klopp up, and I don't think that again. I don't think sacking him is the right thing to do because who would you even like,
Nah, no one. No, I would not get anyone else that not Klopp.
right?
You keep Klopp.
Yeah.
You keep Klopp. Now going on. Speaking of managers and sackings, actually, this leads on to the second question.
Yes.
So, would you consider Mudryk so far to be a flop? Now, well, I would like to answer this first. 100%. 100%. Now I know some people were basically saying that like okay, but like maybe now they'll get a new manager, he can flourish. Yeah, 100% cool. Mudryk to me has been flop. First of all, because you were my point is they paid 72 Arsenal paid 72 million for Pepe a few years ago, and after literally a month they were crucifying him. They were on his ass saying he's a flop, this and that, and Pepe had way better output than Mudryk. Mudryk, for the money they paid for him, for his output, for where they are in the league, yes, 100% he's been a flop. Now, granted, does that mean he can't get better under new manager? Yeah, he can get better. But to me, Mudryk has been a flop. He's been shit. Terrible. Considering as well that we almost got him and got Mudryk instead, and we got Trossard instead of him.
Yeah.
For 27 mil, we paid pretty much 60 to 70 million less than what they paid for Mudryk. He's had 7 assists in 6 games. He's had basically he's Mudryk, not much. Fuck, Trossard's been amazing for us, and we almost got Mudryk. But to me, yeah, no, 100% flop of the season probably.
Yeah, and I think obviously
Has to
like
be.
Chelsea's been like the designated banter club of the season for justifiably so. But Mudryk, like obviously, like you like to give a player time. You like to say that like players just kind of need to get used to the system, need to get used to the manager, what have you. Need to get used to playing the Premier League. That's a big one. That's a really big one that a lot of people forget. However, I think that my grandma, right, my teta back in Lebanon, this close in front of the net, could have done a better job kicking the ball
Yeah, that shit was
than my brother passed it to the goalie. Brother said, "Oh, I feel bad."
But you know the worst part is he was through on goal and he low key shot the ball when he was in the box, but he had just barely crossed the line into the box and he shot, and it was such a low tame that shot. And I'm like,
That's what I'm saying.
like, how the fuck? Like, okay, if you don't score that, like it's still like you should score that, but damn, like why? Like the shot itself was just so ass. And even yesterday, did you see there was another one? He was in front of the net. Well, he shot. The shot was shit. He should have scored it from there. But even then, Havertz was right next to him. He could have just squared it to Havertz, and Havertz could have just scored an open tap in, and he didn't. Like, bro, not Mudryk to me. He's shit. Bro, he's so shit. They were celebrating him getting 1 assist against Leicester, and the assist was such a shit. It was literally just him heading the ball.
No, but I feel that though, because I like obviously because I know that Liverpool's been shit this season too. Like there's small things that you kind of hang on to in terms of like being happy about, you know, because there's not a lot of things to be happy about. Like when Liverpool beat Man United 7-0, obviously on the score, like on the Premier League table, it's like it doesn't do much for you as a team. You're sitting at 6th, right? But it's a win is like it's just something you got to hold on to because you're happy. With Chelsea, bro, like, you know, I don't know, bro. Like they're happy if Mudryk runs, you know.
It's like Liverpool fans back in the show always pissed me off. They used to celebrate this shit talking about Van Dijk has been dribbled past once in the Premier League this season.
Yeah.
Trying to use that in all-time defender debates. Like, man, you don't shut your bitch ass up. Nah. Some people just use stupid stats to justify shit. Like I'm telling you, with Mudryk, man, it's like I get it. The situation he came into was difficult because new manager, the amount of money they spent, it's a dysfunctional team. I will give him that, but granted, bro, he should not be this shit.
Agreed.
He
Obviously,
should not be this shit. And for the price they paid for him,
that's the big deal. That's the big deal because
him.
you're putting big money for a player that you don't even know if they're not Premier League tested.
Like Anthony at Man United, rightfully so, has been criticized, has been called shit. But at least he scored against Arsenal, he scored against Man City, he scored in somewhat big games, Anthony, even though I think he's been shit too for the price they paid. But they're giving him smoke. They should give Mudryk more smoke. Because Mudryk hasn't even done shit. Anthony in his first 3 games in the Premier League, I think scored twice. He scored against he scored against Liverpool and he scored against Arsenal. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I know for a fact he scored against Arsenal, but I think he scored against Liverpool too. So like there's no such thing as like he has to be Premier League proven. Yeah, he's new to the league, but still, bro, you can't be this ass.
It's true, but you know, I think Chelsea has a lot of things to look forward to, right? You give him a solid manager plus a solid 9, and I think that Chelsea has a lot to look forward to next year.
I don't know, manager, yeah, but Chelsea still, there's so much that needs to get resolved. But their squad is too bloated. They have a bloated squad. They need to sell. They need to I don't know, man. I don't envy the new Chelsea manager at all because there's a lot he's gonna have to
There's
clear.
gonna be it's gonna be a bit of a
Okay.
project for sure, but it's nothing like you could imagine seeing it with the Spurs. You know, like
Yeah, I mean, being a Spurs fan,
yeah, I'd go like into hiding. To be fair,
I would.
um,
But going speaking of Anthony, we're talking about that. Going back, this is like the final question that we could talk about for today. Do you think Man United have improved this year under Ten Hag? Now, I bring this question up for pretty much two reasons. One is because Ten Hag with a better team than, for example, Ole had. He had a better team than Ole, and also for the fact that they lost today to Newcastle and they've been on a kind of spree recently since pretty much they won the cup against Newcastle. Since they won the Carabao Cup, they've been kind of meh, to be honest. So I asked that question for those reasons. Now, if I'm gonna go for my opinion, I think because I've said because the whole Ollie thing, the reason why I bring that up is because some people have brought that up. Now I think that's a stupid thing because under Ollie, yeah, they were winning. Probably they had like they finished second in the league. They didn't make like the cup final, but they made the Europa League final, whatever. But they only made the final. They lost, and also under Ollie, I remember they were playing such shit football, like defensive football. They had Maguire, all that. So like for me, I think that opinion is stupid because they can still finish on less points, whatever. Yeah, but I still think he's done better than what I thought he would. Granted, I don't think he's done as great as what people hype him up to have
yeah,
done, because like I pointed out earlier, they only have a +4 goal difference, and we're in April. They're fourth in the league. They're on 50 points. Like they haven't been like wow. The team he has is decent. That's the thing. Like him losing 7-0 to Liverpool, 4-0 to Brentford, to Brighton. Even the game today, like there's some losses that like are inexcusable. He should have been doing better. But granted, I think he has done a bit better than what I thought he would. But basically, I think he's been overhyped. But granted, I've seen some people say like, oh, we're all they did better with a worse team. Like I have seen some people say that. And I'm like, I think that's a stupid.
I think it's stupid. I think that you can't. I think it's really hard to argue that Ten Hag hasn't made this team better.
He's
Right?
made them better.
He's
Yes.
made them better, and I can imagine that if you give him a full, like another full summer of transfers, of influence on the team,
Mm-hmm.
he's really going to be able to put a stamp on what kind of players he wants to see in his team,
Mm.
and that'll give Man United an even better look next year. Obviously, if you're this is not even considering if the Glazers end up selling the team, which could even make the team scarier,
Mm.
right? I think that as a Man United fan, there's definitely a lot to look forward to. Ten Hag is a better coach.
He's the best coach they've had since Ferguson.
Yeah.
Well, if you're gonna go based on reputation, it's Mourinho. But based on like what I think is best for the team right now, style of play, everything like that, I think he's the best coach that they've had since Ferguson.
Yeah, I agree.
I think.
I think that they comfortably make Champions League qualifications.
I wouldn't say. I think they make. I don't think comfortably.
Well, actually, honestly, I keep forgetting, and this is actually a big deal because I've always been under the impression that if Man United didn't sign Casemiro when they did, they would be like basically like
I think if they didn't sign Casemiro, they'd be.
Chelsea level of banter. Like
No, I don't think they'd be. I don't think they'd be that bad. But I think if they didn't sign Casemiro, they'd be like sixth.
they'd be
I think they'd be sixth.
they would
I
not
think
be
they'd
a
be, like,
they would not
sixth.
be a good club. I'm gonna be honest. And the thing is that I think I keep forgetting, which is very important. Casemiro's out for another 3 games.
It's a 4-game suspension. Again?
It was a 4-game suspension.
So that means what games is? Because if we look at the remaining schedule they have, I remember I looked at the remaining schedule and it's not that difficult on paper. Like let me check. Hold up. So the remaining schedule. So they don't have Casemiro for Brentford, Everton, and Nottingham Forest. Now I think Brentford, is that a home game? Yeah, Brentford would be at home. Everton's at home, and Forest away. Now, I will say this: Brentford and Everton at home. I think even regardless if they don't have Casemiro, I think they should win those because it's at home. Brentford is good, but they should still be able to win. Everton are shit. But granted, Everton and Nottingham Forest are tricky. The reason why is because they are fighting relegation, especially Nottingham Forest. What's his name? They're gonna be fighting relegation. And it's gonna be a home game. And plus, Nottingham Forest were able to take points off Man City. They finished 1-1 against Man City a month or two ago. So those games will be difficult, especially the Nottingham Forest one. But I think Man United should still be able to collect. I think they should at least get 2 wins out of those 3. I think the one banana skin could be Nottingham Forest. But after that, with him coming back, they still have Chelsea. They have Spurs. They have Villa, Brighton, West Ham, Wolves, Bournemouth, Fulham. Now, Bournemouth, Wolves, West Ham. I think those are difficult, basically just because those are teams fighting relegation. Now, at that point in the season, who knows? Maybe, especially teams like Bournemouth, maybe their fate will be already sealed because those 3 games are going to be at pretty much the last. Those are going to be the 3 out of the last 4 games are going to be West Ham, Wolves, and Bournemouth. So, Man United should still make top 4. I think based on the schedule they got, they should still make top 4, but it's not as comfortable. Like I thought a month or two ago, comfortably they were going to finish third,
Yeah.
but
I didn't even realize the race between them and Newcastle was as tight as it was. I don't know why.
it wasn't. No, it wasn't for a bit. But like Newcastle have won, and Man United have, like I told you, trailed off since they won the Carabao Cup against Newcastle. They've kind of trailed off a bit.
Yeah.
But even if they don't make top 4, which I'd be astounded by, I still think Man United are going to win the Europa League. I think Man United still win the Europa League because Barca and Arsenal, the 2 teams I thought one of them were going to win it, are out. So besides that, who do they still have left in the Europa League that could challenge them? Probably Juventus. I think they have Juventus. They got that's probably Juventus. I think Atletico Madrid aren't even in the Europa League. No. So yeah, Juventus is pretty much the only team I could see maybe. But like that's it. They play Sevilla in the quarterfinals, but like I think they win because Sevilla they've been shit this year in the league. So I don't know. So yeah, I think to conclude, I think they have gone better under Ten Hag. Granted, I just think he's been a bit overrated.
A bit overrated. I think that he's definitely like slowly starting to put his imprint on the team. And I think that like again, Man United is looking to be quite a scary team. That's just my prediction, obviously. That you guys have a lot to look forward to in the next season.
I think they will. I don't think they'll fully be a threat until they sell their club, though. I think if the Glazers still are are in charge of the club, I don't see them doing anything.
No, and I don't see that either.
I think if they sell and they go to the Qataris, yeah, I think that's when I get scared. But until they could sign, I don't give a shit who they sign. They could sign Mbappe for all I care. If they still have the Glazers, they're not doing anything.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Very true. So yeah, I think that's kind of like what we wanted to wrap up on for today.
Yeah.
So obviously you guys are more than welcome to share your opinions on some of the questions we talked about today. We obviously gave our Premier League roundup. We talked a little bit about Barcelona, a little bit about Messi, and then some of the things that we've been noticing around the Premier League. So you guys are feel free, of course, to comment on our YouTube and let us know your opinions. If you want to share some hot takes with us, you can definitely feel free to do that, and maybe you'll be included in one of our future videos.
Yeah, link us some hot takes in the comments on our TikToks. Check out TikTok, check out our Twitter, check out our Instagram, check out all that. Link us some hot takes we can talk about.
We're more. I feel like we're most active on Twitter and TikTok. So
Twitter
if you guys
and
are
TikTok,
looking
yeah,
for content and for a good laugh, definitely follow us on those. Those will be linked in the description below. And I wanted to leave everyone with a final remark. And you can obviously tell me what you think. You can't spell Chelsea without L.
I think you ended it off perfectly. Yep.
All right, guys. Take care. Like, follow, subscribe, do your thing, and we'll see you guys next week. Cheers.
Peace.